Hi guys, I'm Emily and today I'm going to present to you my first May wrap-up. In the month of May, I have read a dashing total of 10 books. The first book that I'm going to talk about is a book called Let's Get Lost by Adi AlSaid, and I absolutely loved this book. It follows the story of Layla, who goes on a road trip to see the Northern Lights, and the reason why she goes to see the Northern Lights is absolutely heartbreaking but also terribly beautiful. On that journey she meets 4 people who are all individually amazing, and she has a great influence on their lives. This book is divided into 5 parts. The last one is Layla's and the 4 first ones are of the people that she meets on her journey. It is a great book, beautifully written, it is a great format, and the cover is absolutely grand and you should totally read it. The second book that I'm going to talk about is a fantasy novel that I absolutely loved, and it is called Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. It follows the story of Cas Bricker, who is called upon to perform a heist in a very highly secured prison called the Ice Court, and so he decides to build this team of 6 beautifully, stunningly written characters who are all individually amazing, and each chapter is dedicated to one of those characters, and we find out more about their beautiful, stunning lives that are sometimes heartbreaking but also beautiful. Inej and Nina's are my favourite stories, and I can't wait to hear more about this book because the second one is coming out end of September 2016, so it is going to be a great second book, I believe and I hope, and so I cannot wait. The third book that I'm going to talk about is a more adult novel, and it is called We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler. Now this is a great book that I terribly loved, and it follows the story of Rosemary, who was her father's experiment when she was a child, and we see the impact that that part of her life has on her life now, and we discover these family secrets, and it is super interesting, very gripping. You are on the edge of your seat. There are amazing plot twists in this book, especially one that you will be like, oh my god, what happened to my life? And it is terribly amazing. I loved this book and I shall definitely pick up more books from Karen Joy Fowler. You should definitely pick this up if you think that this is something that you might like. The next book that I'm going to talk about is a book that I first heard of on Jesse the Reader's channel, and he absolutely loves those books and I can totally understand why. Those books are going to be made into, I'm hoping, movies by Tim Burton, and I'm sure that they're going to be absolutely stunning, and those books are Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and its sequels. I read this first book in the month of May and I couldn't wait to pick it up when I finally did. It is the story of Jacob, who lives in America, and his granddad has always told him secrets about his childhood in Europe during World War II and when he was put into a home for peculiar children, and that's where he met all those amazing people, and he has always told those stories to Jacob. And then his grandfather is killed, and so he wants to find out more and find out the truth about what happened because he's a bit traumatized by that event, and so he goes to this Welsh island to find out more about Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and you should definitely pick this up if you haven't, and I'm going to read the sequel, Hollow City, very shortly because I cannot wait to know more. The next book that I'm going to talk about is a French book because French is my mother tongue, and it is called Vango by Timothée de Fombelle. It is the story of Vango, who washes up on an Italian island with a woman when he's a baby, and he doesn't know much about his past, and so we follow him when he's a young adult, and he's trying to find out the truth about his past and his origins, and he travels between Europe and America, and it's set between Scotland, Paris, Italy, New York, Germany, and it is set like in the 30s, like before the Second World War broke out, and so it is a bit of historical fiction and it's super interesting, very gripping, beautiful. It's a bit chunky, it's 800 pages long, but that's because there are 2 books in this duology, and this is a binder edition. So this is an amazing book that you should definitely pick up, though I don't know if you can find it in English, but I'm pretty sure that you can, so just do some digging and find this book because it is great and you should definitely read it. The next book that I'm going to talk about is a John Green book, and it is An Abundance of Katherines. I've really been wanting to read John Green books more, so I picked this one up because it was sitting on my shelf for a while. It is the story of Colin, who has dated 19 girls and they were all called Katherine. And it is a super road trip book. His best friend takes him on a road trip after he gets stumped by the 19th Katherine. And so he decides that he wants to write the theorem of Katherines that should and could predict the fate of any relationship. It is a beautiful book. He meets some amazing people along the way, and I absolutely loved this book. The next book that I'm going to talk about is another John Green book, and it is Looking for Alaska. This is a book that I'd read 2 years ago for the first time, and I think I loved it even more now than I did 2 years ago, because I'm a bit more grown up, and so it really touched my heart. It was beautiful. It is the story of Miles, who goes to boarding school and meets Alaska and her friends and becomes a part of their group, and he goes on great adventures with them, and it is a story of friendship, love, and you get heartbroken, but it is beautiful. Like, a piece of my heart went with this book. It is a beautiful book that everyone should have on their bookshelf. It is a classic. The next book that I'm going to talk about was also a reread, and it is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saenz. It tells the story of Ari and Dante, who are best friends, and how all that relationship builds them into their characteristics, and it is a beautiful book. It is one of my favourite books ever. I know the Peruse Project likes this book too, and I feel you, girl. I love this book. It is beautiful, and I don't want to say too much about it because that would spoil it for you, but you should definitely pick this one up. It is a gorgeous book. The last book that I'm going to be talking about is yet another fantasy novel, and it is quite extraordinary for me to read 2 fantasy novels, because even reading one is like, ooh, the bomb. And this book is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E Schwab. I first heard about it on Jesse the Reader's channel because he loves V.E Schwab, and I do too. It is the story of Cal, who is an Antari, a traveller. He travels between 3 Londons, the red one, the grey one, and the white one, where magic has a different place in each of the Londons. It is a beautiful book, a book about fighting evil, and I love Cal, so please marry me, and I love this book. You should definitely read it, and I cannot wait to pick up the second book, that is A Gathering of Shadows. It's sitting in my bookshelf behind me, and I shall pick it up very shortly because it seems like it's gonna be a beautiful ride. That's it for my May wrap-up. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm very excited to enter the BookTube community. It's going to be a great adventure, I'm sure. And feel free to leave comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe.